All right, forget everything you think you know about the ancient world. Today, we're digging up some technologies that are so advanced they feel like they've been pulled straight out of science fiction. Welcome to the world of ancient futurism.
So, when you think about ancient times, what comes to mind? Probably simple tools, maybe pyramids built with just sheer muscle, right? Well, what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the ancient world was, in some ways, incredibly futuristic?
You know, we usually think of progress as this straight, neat line, from simple to complex, nice and slow. But the truth? It's way messier, and honestly way more fascinating than that. So let's follow our little explorer here and see what kind of lost blueprints he can dig up.
Okay, for our first discovery, we're diving deep. I mean, literally. We're heading to the bottom of the Aegean Sea to find something that completely shattered our understanding of ancient tech, a clockwork computer from a 2,000-year-old shipwreck. Picture this. It's 1901. A team of sponge divers is exploring an old Roman shipwreck. They pull up this crusty, corroded lump of bronze that looks like a rock. For years, it just sat in a museum. Nobody gave it a second thought, figuring it was just a piece of an old statue or something. Oh, how wrong they were. It took decades and some seriously high-tech X-ray scanning to finally figure out what this thing was. And wow, it's the Antikythera Mechanism. This wasn't just a hunk of metal. It was an incredibly complex analog computer from ancient Greece. We're talking at least 30 perfectly engineered bronze gears all working together to map out the cosmos. I mean, what this thing could do is just mind-blowing. It could track the sun and the moon with incredible precision. It could predict eclipses years before they happened. It even accounted for the moon's weird wobbly orbit, something we thought was completely beyond them. And get this, it also had a dial just for keeping track of the Olympic Games. How cool is that? And you don't have to take my word for it. This physicist, Yanis Bitsakis, put it perfectly. He basically said that if this thing hadn't been discovered, nobody would even believe it could exist. It's just that sophisticated. It was like a ghost from the future dropped into the ancient world. It just didn't fit with anything else we knew. All right, from a complex computer to something that looks, well, a lot simpler. But don't let its looks fool you. Our next discovery is a humble little clay jar that might just rewrite the history of electricity. So this thing was dug up near Baghdad back in the 1930s. We call it the Baghdad Battery, and it's over 2,000 years old. From the outside, you just walk right past it. It looks like any old clay pot, but what was found inside is what changes everything. And this is where it gets really clever. Check it out. Our little stick figure guy is putting it together. You've got a copper cylinder, an iron rod, and you just add a simple acid, like vinegar or grape juice, and boom, the chemical reaction creates a small but steady electric current. It's a working battery, made a full 1,800 years before Alessandro Volta supposedly invented it. So that leads to the million-dollar question, right? We know it works. People have built replicas, and they totally generate a current. But what on earth were they using it for? The frustrating part is there are no instruction manuals, no ancient texts that mention it. So all we have are some really cool theories. Okay, so theory number one, and it's a popular one, is electroplating. Using that little bit of electricity to coat cheaper metals with a thin layer of gold or silver. Makes sense. Then there's the medical idea, maybe a little bit of electrotherapy to help with pain. And my personal favorite, the ritual theory. Imagine a priest using it to make a statue give off a tiny electric shock. Talk about a divine experience, right? It would definitely make you a believer. Okay, for our last stop, we're scaling up. Big time. We're leaving behind small artifacts and looking at massive, empire-defining structures. We're off to ancient Rome to figure out the secret behind their seemingly indestructible buildings. I mean, just think about it for a second. The Pantheon in Rome? That gigantic concrete dome has been standing for almost 2,000 years. Roman aqueducts, their harbors, they've been battered by waves and shaken by earthquakes for centuries, and they're still here. Meanwhile, a lot of our modern concrete starts falling apart after just a few decades. What did they know that we don't? Well, this comparison pretty much says it all. Modern concrete is strong, sure, but it's brittle. It cracks. It falls apart. Roman concrete, though, it was a completely different animal. It literally gets stronger with age. And, even crazier, it could actually heal its own cracks.
Yeah, 2,000 years and still going strong. That is the kind of durability modern engineers are still trying to figure out how to copy. This wasn't just some primitive mortar. It was a super advanced, self-healing material that we're only just now starting to crack the code on.
So what was the secret? It was all in the recipe. They used volcanic ash, lime, and, this is the key, seawater. So when a tiny crack would form, seawater would trickle in. That water would then react with the volcanic ash and literally grow new crystals that would fill the gap. It wasn't just patching the hole, it was actively rewelding itself from the inside. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay, so we've seen an ancient computer, a potential battery, and self-healing concrete. What does it all add up to? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here, at these incredible lost blueprints from our own past.
This timeline really puts it all into perspective. You've got the Baghdad Battery around 250 BCE, the Antikythera Mechanism a century later, and then Roman concrete being perfected. You see, these weren't just one-off lucky accidents. This was a pattern, a period of seriously advanced thinking that totally turns our simplistic view of the past on its head.
And this really gets to the core of it. We love to think of human progress as this nice, straight, upward climbing line. But that's not how it works at all. It's more like this twisty, winding road. Sometimes we take a wrong turn. Sometimes knowledge gets completely lost. Technologies can be invented, perfected, and then just disappear for hundreds or even thousands of years, just waiting for someone to find them again. And that leaves us with one final, kind of haunting question. Think about it. All of these incredible things were found by pure chance, in a shipwreck, in the back of a museum. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other amazing secrets, what other lost technologies are still out there, buried under the ground or lost at sea, just waiting to completely rewrite history all over again?